Welcome to Common Hood. This is your boy again, Simon P. Welcome you to another Wacky Friday where we try to feed you a little spiritual soul food for the weekend. Once again, I got my partner in crime, Calvin, and we're going to share some information with you today because we were talking about, had a little Bible discussion early in the week.
Yeah, man.
Happened to be dipping up in Exodus, and we were talking about communication, and lo and behold, you know, the Holy Bible gave us a little bit on in Exodus chapter 4, I believe, verses 12 to 15 about Moses being chosen.
Yes, sir.
To go ahead and make this destiny. He like, oh God, hold on, man. I can't speak good, and you want to pick me for this? Will you try to lead all these people up out of here? And God said, yeah, I picked you. He said, be all right, because we're going to be sharing the same mindset.
Right.
And when we thought about it, we went all over the place. Like,
Everywhere.
you know how hard it is to get that same mindset.
It's hard. It's hard, brother. It's hard.
You know, I think the people that have it is the Super Bowl champs, the NBA champs,
Gotta work together as a team.
the hockey champs.
Gotta work together as a team.
You know, the definitely your big Fortune 500 companies or your small companies that's generating. But it's hard to put that team together.
Forget the military.
I ain't want to mention the military,
But they there.
it take a team. They there.
Yeah.
they ready 24 hours anywhere you ready to go.
ready.
They supposed to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for our U.S. military. We definitely appreciate it. But at the same time, I'm gonna leave out the most important one. I don't want to miss it out.
Right.
Is that family?
Big time. Big time.
I'm gonna actually speed that up to the number one on my list where the team should really start. You can really tell when people come from a good family, because pretty much, you know, all the attributes that you need to build a team, those that had a great family, they kind of take some of those out to the world a little bit.
They do. They do. They do. They really do. I believe if the person is raised properly in the household,
Right.
and your mother and your father's in the household. Sometimes you have a single family household, and then still good moral values.
There's moral values.
And
Some strong women out there.
there's some strong women.
Strong
out there, man.
women.
I mean, real strong women.
I don't care, black, white, Asian,
They strong.
Hispanic.
There's some strong ones out there, man. And,
Every race have single women doing their thing, and there's definitely some strong ones.
there's
out
some
there.
strong ones.
Kudos.
I go back to with my dad, my adopted dad, not my dad now, as you know. But when I was adopted by Calvin and Mary Pryor, my dad was a street hustler. He was in the streets a lot. My mama, she was a nurse. And so she was a backbone of our family, you know, when I was a kid. And I took her moral values. And I took some of my dad's stuff too. Don't get me wrong, because I got to learn the streets. You had to learn the streets too.
You better. You say you from Chicago.
Had to learn, boy. If you don't know how to take your stuff, but they're gonna get you. But I definitely believe in that moral value, that strong person in the household or an individual person that you bring into your life that has some good morals about themselves that can teach you certain things in life as well.
Well, let's address when you sending somebody on the team, whether it's football, sports, business, family, classmates, putting a play together. It's all teamwork at the end of the day. But how we help the one that, you know, let's try to focus on the one that we send someone out there to join a team, but we notice they ain't ready.
You know, when you say they're not ready, what do you mean by that?
Well, let's just take a football team. They do their draft, and then they have the whole summer, everybody trying to assimilate into each other.
Right.
Identifying strengths and weaknesses, plays that work, what you got on the team. But there's some that say, man, you know, long I'm getting my check on Monday, I don't give a damn about what happened on whatever pay.
You know what?
But I'm gonna do my job.
Yeah, and I really understand that part. I understand that part wholeheartedly because, you know, in business, I'm going to the business aspect of it too.
Yeah.
You have your team out there working. You always have that one person that's going to stand back and try to let everybody else do the work. But when you put your eyes on him, he want to move around a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But you always have that one individual person that's not ready. and because they're out for themselves basically. They don't really care about what happens to Joe Blow. They care about their self.
But when I thought about sending a person ain't that I looked at it from a perspective of the challenge, because it's like that person really, if he's going to be on the team, I got to shift that energy over there a little bit.
Yeah.
And shipping that energy over there, this is where the collaboration part really start. That's a team. Getting our warm and fuzzies, getting our collaborations. But in the instance of, let's just say God, Moses, then I believe in the story it was Aaron. I'm not, I'm not there. So out of the three, that was a team.
Right.
And didn't mention nobody else was leading.
Nope.
He chose two, and plus the mentor, of course, the one that controlled the narrative was God.
You also have a young man that came along named Joshua.
Correct.
That came along, and he was like a apprentice to Moses. And if you want to say that, it's like an apprentice to Moses. But one thing about Joshua is he understood the dynamic of leadership. And so he was a person that wanted to be a part of the team, that type of thing.
Joshua, he had his bumps and bruises.
Whole lot of them, like we don't.
Which makes, but that God is like the head coach. That God can be the father. That God could be a mentor.
Big time.
And those three things really lay out the plan to the quarterback or the point guard or whoever the one that's supposed to receive the information, say, hey, this the play he keep calling.
Yeah.
Let's just run it.
Yeah.
The best we can.
Yeah.
And part of sharing the same mentality, man, I put like communication have to be so important.
Everything is about communication.
Everything
about communication. If you got to break down communication, you got to break down the system. So I believe that everything got to be communicated, man. If you can't communicate properly, sometimes, like with me, for instance, I'm just going to put myself out there. Communication is, I'm good at it, but if I'm working on something, taking care of something and making sure that I take care of my responsibility with something, I'm not going to communicate as effectively as I should. And I know that's how I do things. And some people.
Well, I'm worse, man. I might have a little ADHD that's one diagnosed. I can't hold my attention that long.
Right.
So the problem with that's communication, but as a listening part is always there. But when I think about sharing the mindset, we talking about how there's a order of ranking. So in that particular instance, I said God, and then Moses, then Aaron.
Right.
But that's just an order of ranking also. But I was like, how important it is to help determine the objective to get that mindset.
Right. I think that when you say are we mindset, is we on the same mindset? That type of thing. Being on the same mindset is wide. It's a wide range of things to be on the same mindset with an individual person. It can start. It's normally supposed to start in your own household.
And that's why I say we got to determine an objective.
Yeah.
That's just like you have a different career path chosen. I have a different career path chosen. You may know what you know in yours, but I may not know what's in mine. Now, if we're going to work together, we got to find a common objective in order to share the same mentality. Because if it's not a common objective, or goal, as they say, or vision, as they say,
we can't share the same mindset.
How we going to share that mentality?
That mentality, yes. I feel like we might not be able to share it on that level, but it might be something else that come along that we can share, that we can be on the same level with,
And keep inside that I'm saying sharing the same mindset. So you gotta pick an objective to share.
Yep.
So and choosing that, there's I guess we have to agree.
Big time. Big time. If you don't agree, you can't. If you can't agree on nothing, you can't make nothing happen.
We have to agree.
Hey, so when you say we have to agree now, let's go back. Let's go back to the share the same mindset, and let's go to the dynamic of the household for a minute. You go into the dynamic of the household, the husband and wife. These are the two people that's in the household, right? And
source of the creation getting together.
Exactly. So if these two people are not on the same page of agreement with certain things going on in the household, guess what? The dynamic breaks down in the household. Everything breaks down. You have to be on the same page to make something work. The same mindset to make something work. If I go to my wife and say, hey, look, babe, listen, we can't afford that right now. And she goes out and she buys that right now.
Through credit.
Chopping it up.
With interest.
A whole bunch of them now.
Oh, she knows. I got it.
She go out there, whoop. Why do they think that credit cards is money?
That's where we've been conditioned.
Yeah, but it's not money. What it is
it's money. It's not money, but
you can use it. You can use it if you know how to use it. If you got a credit card, now we ain't finna get on the financial thing, but I'm finna say if you got a credit card, right?
We'll come back another Friday.
Yeah. But just for the same mindset sake thing
right.
What you got going on. If you got a credit card, I'm telling my wife, I said we got to get on the same mindset when it comes to spending money. Or using those cars or using something to go out here and charge. We can't do that right now. But then they say, well, we can do it because I can just go back and when I get paid, pay this off. We're not on the same
Well, that's that communication. Yeah. You said something that probably, did you hear what you just said?
I just heard what
you
I
tell
said.
a woman what they can't have. So how to articulate that and communicate that for that objective. Maybe she's not quite.
Oh, they there.
Grasping that objective. But that's like I say, determining that objective.
Yeah.
So it's just like, when you determine the objective, it's like maybe we should say, maybe that credit card purchase you're thinking about and won't actually have nothing to do with the objective that we just set.
Right.
That we're trying to do.
Right.
So how can we tie that in there?
Yeah.
To justify this purchase? Is it really, really coinciding with our objective?
Right.
And, determining that objective when it's like whenever you see a championship team I like to see the championship team that was clicking on all cylinders. When I say clicking on all cylinders, the special teams making them play, the defense, the offense, because every sport have the same particulars. Offense is defense. Somebody got to score, somebody got to defend against the score. And to see all the components when they say you have a team that's even across the board.
That's a good thing, brother. That's a powerful thing. There.
It may not be no superstars on there, but they say they strong across the board and got depth.
Yeah.
That's a good team.
That's a good team. That's a real good team. And we need that. I mean, I mean, they operating on the same mindset.
Right. So, and when you talk about determining the objective, I'm thinking about the analogy we made with Moses and Aaron and God in that example. And in that particular case, I think for Moses and Aaron, all they had to do was just listen.
That's it. And follow out the orders.
And follow the order.
Follow the orders.
But in our human nature, it's not so easy.
It ain't.
It's not so easy.
It ain't.
Whether it's friendship, whether it's
and you got to remember where the orders came from too. So then that's another different thing.
Well, when you saying remember where the orders come from, it would be nice if though we set an objective here that we try to accomplish it, trying to see how the Most High want us to carry this out, to collaborate on that.
Right.
So the collaboration on that objective, the paying attention and listening and trying to find the best way to get to that objective.
Right.
You're gonna have some that agree, and you're gonna have some that, hey, whatever you say. Sometimes I can respect the one say, hey man, I'm gonna trust whatever you say. Let's just do something.
Yep. And I found that I got a guy right now that he's a business person, and if he's in business with me and doing certain things with me, I tell him, hey man, this is how I got to do it. This is how I need to do this right here. And he'll tell me whatever you think is right, whatever you think is best for the situation that we got going on. And that's the type of person you need on the same mindset. When not just saying that you got to agree with me, because he say things to me that I have to agree with as well. And I'm like, hey, look, whatever you say is best for this particular job, I'm going with you. Type of thing.
I saw. We in Gainesville, Florida. So there's a legendary football coach, Steve Spurrier. He was at a meeting.
Yeah, I know Steve.
But I heard Mr. Spurrier say this right here. Somebody asked him, "How do you keep the morale going once you get your team?"
Right.
And I think when it comes to boosting morale, he like, well, it's all about forgetting real quick. Because as you're going through that objective, it's going to be some mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, will you allow them to hinder you? Or say, man, you know what? Scrap the playbook, man. It ain't working. I just don't want to do it. It's too hard. We've been stagnated too long. Everything we do seems to be hard.
Yeah.
We keep making mistakes. If you send a worker out to build a door, or you tell someone to take a sales call for you, like nothing's working. But the objective was there that we all agreed of. But how do you keep that morale going? And he was trying to answer that for us if you're losing all the time, but you notice the objective, but you're getting better. You're finding a way to get better. Say the boosting morale is one of the hardest things because it's like guiding an individual. That's some things got to come from within.
I had a incident about a couple of years ago. I think it was during COVID.
Yep.
I believe it was during COVID, and we were still working. We still had a contract.
During COVID. COVID's still here, right?
Yeah, man. Somewhere around. We
had
a contract. We had the guys out there working. I was telling the guys, I said, listen, we lost part of this contract right here, but we still got this part over here. So I'm going to have to cut everybody's pay. Now, are you guys going to ride with me? With what we got going on over here, or do I have to find somebody else?
I don't know.
Every last one of them jokers said, "We riding with you."
No.
We riding with you. That's a team. That's the same mindset. I said it's not gonna be like this forever. No. I'm trying to boost some morale with them too.
Right.
I'm telling them it ain't gonna be like this forever. I said, but what we have to do is we have to come in together and work together as a unit right now to save what we have. And each one of them said, "We with you," and they still with me today. They still with me washing them trucks.
Well, once again, in sharing the mindset, you had determined an objective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that, whether that's your vision board, a goal, and this sound easy, but it's not.
It's not easy.
I'm up here wondering now, like, man, when the last time I updated a vision board? I'm just going day by day, but it's an objective. It's something you want to accomplish.
Right.
And then, morale, it's like, hey, boosting morale, you do take your lumps. Sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you get frustrated. Sometimes you just say, I'm just sick of this.
You get a lot of that. For me personally, I like to go back on me a lot because when I say that, not to be boastful or anything like that, but I'm saying me, I'm using my life as an example.
Right.
Like if it was many times I want to throw in a towel and say, man, I'm tired of going out here and do this. I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of pulling this weight. I'm tired of doing it. I'm tired of all this weight being on my shoulders. I'm just ready to throw in the towel. And most of the time when I say those things, I really don't mean them. But at that particular moment in my life,
it did mention that Moses was complaining to God.
He was complaining. Oh boy, he was complaining, man. These people here, man.
These people hard headed.
Hard headed, man. Do something with them, man. Lord,
you drag him out there like, man, we could have stayed with Pharaoh. Man, we gonna come out here, ain't no food in the wilderness, man. Like, what's up with that,
man? Look,
even Moses had to look at him like, wait a minute, God, I'm a little hungry too now.
I'm hungry, boy. And not only that, man, listen, if he rained down manna from heaven, these people ate, they were eating every day. And Moses even told them, don't take none of this manna into the tent because, that's what the Lord said, is to get what you need for the day, get your rations for the day. He's going to rain some more down.
I'm trying to do that, but every time I rub on this here.
And then they said,
put my rations down.
They go back and say, listen, I'm tired, man, of this manna. We want some meat. We want some meat, man. What's up with God? Why we can't get no meat out of him? You know?
But I like how it's always when the questions come up. We talking about the morale boost is defeating them.
Oh yeah.
But also, it could be used that maybe your eyes got off the prize because now I got to get you to keep focus. Like, where's the focus?
Yeah.
But I guess it's hard to focus when I'm hungry.
It's hard to focus when you're hungry. It's hard to focus when you got other stuff on your mind.
Yeah.
You know, man, look, man. This thing is so deep when you're talking about being on the same mindset, and then saying the focus part, when you bring up the focus part, it's hard to stay focused when you got other stuff on your mind. You want to focus on the objective of what you got. You know, this is what I'm trying to meet right here, but you got all this other stuff playing on in here. And you know,
it's a lot to block out just living life.
Oh man, yes,
it's a lot to block out,
and it could definitely be done. That's a lot of people do meditation. A lot of people get up in the morning time. They work out before they go to work.
Right.
They pray. Some people pray before they go to work or whatever have you. And then they go out there to this bustle and bustle of the world.
I tell you, those three things you mentioned, when you don't do them,
oh man,
the day will remind you.
The whole day gonna remind you that you didn't do it. I mean,
I don't care, you know.
You can wake up and say, I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna go take a little snooze before I get out here on this road. But if you don't do your daily routine that you normally do,
yeah,
you gonna definitely feel it when you get out here.
How important you think it is to have a?
Oh man, I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get up in the morning time. Either some believers go to get up in the morning time, meditate on the word. Some people
work out.
They go to the gym early in the morning. They get their workout on, and they get that blood pumping throughout the day. They get their mindset right. Then they go out here for those whatever 8 hours you got to do out here. And first thing they thinking about, I know I do. I can't wait to get to the house, boy.
A home is an oasis.
Yes.
But when you do have good morale, when you try to collaborate on that objective and that communication, I think we can always miss in communication. Anything when it comes to talking about anything relating to personal development, relationships, team building. We got to communicate that thing.
Yes, most definitely.
Like we got to communicate that thing, and there's no how to but to keep on practicing and consider the other ones. Feelings, even though some say get in leadership positions, they don't care about your feelings. Their focus is the objective. So, in your life of being involved with teams, how important you think the observing or the care of one's feelings, but
it goes one way.
When it coincides with saying, "Hey, I got an objective."
You got an objective to meet, and you got your team over here. If your heart is not inclined to the team, you can't meet your objective. You understand what I'm saying? Because your team's gonna go through some things personally, different individuals. They're gonna go through certain things. I get it all the time. But if you don't have a heart for your team, your objective, you can't meet your objective. You got to have a team to meet your objective, whatever it is. You got to have some people on your team that's gonna help you build what you're trying to hit. So if you don't have those people, I tell my wife that all the time. I say, you got to have the people behind you to build. If one man can't build, you can't build by yourself.
Nah,
you can't do it by yourself.
Nah. The better we all get that, like sharing this earth. One of the things I hate is somebody saying third world. And I'm like,
what's a third world, man?
It's like if it's a third world, what are the other two worlds that got the money? What are we doing to address this issue of the third world? Like, it's like I thought it was like a human race, and if there's hurting over there, and there's so much abundance in one area, it's just like we here to share Earth.
We're supposed to be.
We're supposed to be.
And the thing is, every different country have their own different system set up.
Right.
So and their system dictates what that country is going to do. I take China for instance. I look at China, I'm like, dude, these people have like excelled in so many different areas. Some of the stuff they built over, some of the stuff the bullet train and all these different things that they built over there and the things that they got going on. I'm looking at the buildings, the structure, the skyscrapers and stuff. I'm like, these people have really.
You know, they do that. That's three different, like, China I can respect. You know, with America, a lot of the building was free labor. So that it is what it is with that. We don't want to touch that subject.
Yeah.
But what Dubai has done recently, they sharing all over there. That's, you know, what they've done. Everybody who I've known has visited says it's top notch. Like America is not what it is comparable to some
countries
that are out. And you mentioned in China, we talking about Dubai, and I'm sure Africa has its kingdoms over there as well. So,
man,
you know, so but you know, when we look at those that are done well, you have to respect the leadership.
Yep, you definitely do. You definitely do.
I don't know what China's leader name is, but it's obviously he set a plan for China to be a force, and the people followed.
They did. Same mindset.
Some people want to collaborate with his idea. He was able to communicate it, and people received it. And you know, obviously, when you receive great things, it's like it's beautiful that you're focused, and you said that objective. But it's even more beautiful when
the team is focused. When
you and I get focused. When you and I boosting our each other morale up, we're getting that objective just a little bit faster.
Big time. When
we do those things. So it's sharing the mindset, man. We don't want to take the whole day here. We just trying to share a golden nugget to get you ready for the weekend. Because when that Waking Friday hit, everybody think about what all they going to do, man. What all they going to do. Everybody rushing off that traffic rush right now.
Yeah.
They planning their weekend. Some going to barbecue. Some going to relax. Some going to party hard.
Yeah.
And some going to go out and party too hard. And sometimes too much time on your hand. What they call it?
What is it?
Man, what they call it? The devil's workshop time. What they call it?
Oh man, they got so many. They got the devil workshop in your mind. They got so many different names for it when you got idle time.
Yeah. So you know, either way, we just hope that we all connect with those that can have a similar mindset. And for those that don't have the mindset, we got to put work in with them.
Yeah.
And I always think about the lesser person. And I don't mean that as a person 1/3, somebody we rate so much on what you got and what you own.
Right.
But when you think about people that has less, I can understand where they coming from.
Yes.
It's easy for you to have that mindset because you got a little bit of money in your pocket.
You know,
it's easy for you to tell me this, and it's like we got to put the work in and to get them to share that same mindset in order to do it.
I think that some people fail to realize too, I'm gonna leave it alone, but they fail to realize that everybody had to have something that they went through in life, whether you're a millionaire, trillionaire, or billionaire.
Yeah.
To get to that point, you had to have somebody on your team that's got the same mindset you do. To get to that point, I got Bill Gates. You got Bill Gates right now. If Bill Gates didn't have these teams behind him, Bill Gates he had an idea, but he wouldn't be where he's at now without the team being on the same mindset, the same way.
I read something about his idea that he might have got it.
Oh yeah, I ain't finna say it
from someone, but we'll come back. We'll come back. That Bill. You know, the idea was in somebody's hands before.
A whole bunch of the ideas in somebody's hands. You know what I'm saying? If we go there, you already know it's gonna open up a can of worms. But
we're gonna have to open up a can of whoop ass.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
We're gonna have to start opening up a can of whoop ass.
We're gonna have to start opening it up.
You know, we got you know, it's always a challenge. That history is not always shared.
Right.
So I think it's good to start dropping some jewels on these Wacky Friday.
Yeah.
On those things that as they call it now, woke.
Yes. I love to be woke, man. I love to be woke.
Like, woke. Yeah. Who told you I was asleep? Who told you I was asleep? Yeah. But anyway, we encourage everyone out there to please find those who willing to share the same mindset to help you reach a little further on your journey.
Amen.
And what we always looking for peace and prosperity out there. for me, my prosperity, just give me health and strength, and my God let me transition over. I can avoid the suffering on my way out. I'm good with that.
I'm jumping on the same mindset with you on that one.
Okay, so that's something. Everybody want to have health and strength out there. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your time. Enjoy family. Peace and love. This is Common Hood with Simon P. and my man Kevin. We are out.